My 44 female husband, 47, got pulled into some kind of review meeting at work last week. He's a team leader and his job is stressful and deadline heavy. He told me his manager sat him down and basically told him he's been underperforming. He admits he's been distant and unfocused and not keeping up with stuff the way he used to. He's never had issues like this before. He's always been really serious about his job, sometimes too much. He was the kind of person who'd log in at night just to check emails again. But apparently things have been slipping and now it's caught up to him. They didn't write him up formally, but it was bad enough that he came home pissed off and shut himself in the guest room that night. When I asked what happened and why things are falling apart for him, he just stared at me and said, "You know why?" I asked what I had to do with it, and he said he hasn't been able to think straight since everything. That he's tired all the time, he doesn't sleep, and his head is foggy, and it's all because of me. We had a fight. He said I wrecked his ability to trust anyone, and now he second-guesses himself with everything, even work. That when he's leading meetings, all he thinks about is how fake everything feels. That his whole life feels like a joke now. I told him that's a stretch, that he can't just drop the ball at work and blame me for it, that he has to get it together. He just snapped and told me I don't get to tell him anything anymore. Our son came out of his room during the fight, and I tried to get my husband to quiet down. I told him not to do this in front of him, and he just said maybe our son should know what I've done. I said that was out of line. He said I'm the one who crossed lines and he's just tired of protecting me from consequences. Then he went back to the guest room and slammed the door. This isn't new. He's been withdrawn and angry for months, but now it's starting to affect everything else. He's falling apart at work and then coming home and acting like I'm the reason he's about to lose his job. He used to be the stable one. He used to carry this family. Now I don't even recognize him some days. Yes, things happened months ago. I'm not pretending nothing happened. I get that he's hurt, but I thought we were trying to move forward. I told him I'd work on things. He said he was willing to stay, but now every little thing that goes wrong is somehow about me, and I'm tired of being blamed for every piece of fallout in his life. I'm not saying what happened didn't matter. I know it did, but it's been months. He's choosing to stay angry. He's choosing to let it get in his way. I don't think that's fair anymore. I'm not sure how much longer I can sit here and be the emotional punching bag for things that are way beyond what happened back then. I'm doing everything I can to keep this house and our son on track. Meanwhile, he's falling apart and acting like I owe him something because he hasn't left yet. He won't go to therapy, won't talk to anyone, just sulks in silence and throws guilt around like it's going to solve something. I don't know what to do anymore. He said he'd stay. He said we could work on it. Now it feels like I'm the only one even trying. Update 1, I'm absolutely falling apart, he told our son. That's the first thing. He told him during softball practice pickup last week. He didn't give details, but he told him the truth, and that's why things are the way they are. I wasn't even there. I didn't even get to say my piece. Our son didn't look at me that night. He went straight to his room. I found out because my husband told me afterward, like it was nothing. Just said, he knows now. I'm not hiding it for you anymore. Our son won't talk to me now. I've knocked on his door till my fist hurt. I've offered to talk, but he barely responds. When he does, it's one-word answers. He doesn't eat dinner with me anymore. He asked to stay at his grandparents with my husband. I feel like I'm being erased from my own child's life. On top of that, he's lawyered up. He told me the divorce papers are coming. He didn't say when exactly, just that he's been meeting with someone and that it's happening. He told me to lawyer up as well. I asked how he thinks I'm going to afford a divorce attorney, and he said, "Why don't you call your softball friend and ask if he'll spot you?" That was vile. It was months ago. He calls it an affair and is still hung up on it. I barely knew the guy. He was a father from another teammate of my child's softball team. We messaged for a while, then it turned into flirting, and then it crossed a line. I don't even know how it started. It just built over time. We met up once. It was only once. We had sex. After that, I felt sick. I ended it right away and never talked to him again. My husband found the messages later, and that's how it all came out. He told me back then that he'd try to move forward if I got into therapy. I said I would, but I didn't. I kept putting it off. I thought it would get better with time. I thought the space would help. I thought if we just went back to normal routines, it would fade. I see now that was stupid. That's on me. He says I'm only sorry now because he's done, that I waited until he emotionally detached before I started doing anything real. He's probably right. I made excuses. I didn't think he would ever go through with leaving. I thought he'd stay for our son. Now it's like living with a ghost. He still sleeps in our bed, still barely talks to me. The only time he looks me in the eye is when he says something sharp. I asked him if he's sure he wants to do this, if he's really going to throw away everything we built. He said I already did, that he's just filing the paperwork. I feel like I've lost everything at once. My son, my marriage, my home. I never meant for any of this to go that far. I made a mistake. I didn't think it would cost me my entire life. Final update. He warned me weeks ago that the divorce papers would be coming, and I still didn't take it seriously. I wish I had gone to therapy earlier, just like he wanted. He told me to move into the guest room, said I should be the one to leave the bedroom, not him. I refused. I told him this is my house too, that I'm not going to be pushed out like some unwanted guest. So he moved instead, took his clothes, his laptop, and cleared the drawers out. Just quietly left the room and hasn't come back since. He doesn't sleep here anymore. He doesn't talk unless it's about bills or our son. He said he's waiting for the lawyer to finalize the papers and then I'll be served. I asked him again how he thinks I'm going to afford my own lawyer, and he said to ask my AP, the same line again. He won't let me forget it. I told him it wasn't even a real affair, that it was one time. He just laughed and said one mistake doesn't happen over months. I finally scheduled therapy. I started last week. I told him I was trying now, that I want to fix this. He told me flat out that it's too late, that he gave me 4 months and I did nothing. He said staying in this house with me has been like living in a burned-down building, and he's just been waiting for someone to tell him it's okay to leave. Then he said he's filing for primary custody, that our son wants to be with him and he's going to make that happen. I asked him if he really thinks I don't deserve to be around my own child. He said he already made that decision himself. That broke me. I haven't stopped crying since he said it. Our son barely looks at me. He comes home from school, drops his bag, and disappears into his room or texts his dad from 2 doors down. My family's angry. They say he's being vindictive. They think he should be trying harder for our son's sake. But none of that seems to matter to him now. He's cold. He's done. He acts like I'm nothing more than a roommate he can't wait to evict. He told me last night that I should start thinking about where I'll live, that once the divorce starts moving, he's not planning on staying under the same roof. I told him I don't have money to move. He said again, that's not my problem. Maybe you can go live with your AP or your family. Doesn't matter to me. So that's where we are. He's out emotionally, physically next. I can't believe how I lost everything over something that felt so small at the time.